Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Robbinsville, New Jersey, as the Collegiate Pickleball Tour, presented by DUPR and Performance Productions, rolls ahead. We bring you into the New Jersey Super Regional and the semifinal round. Who are the we? John Laser, David Beeger, Lorelei Sing-Sang. Two of the three of us are former national champions. And then there was me. Guys, welcome. Been an awesome trip here already. Of course, Championship Saturday yesterday brought us to our quarterfinal round. There hasn't been a ton of surprises thus far. Virginia Tech, I don't want to say the overwhelming favorite, but they certainly are the favorite this weekend here. However, we're about to see Delaware, UNC Charlotte to try to oppose the winner of Virginia Tech and Pitt, which we'll see in the second semifinal. Should be an interesting day as we've gone regionally through these different tournaments and different brackets, and this weekend an opportunity to see some teams we haven't seen before, guys.
Yeah, thank you, John. We're very excited to be here. It's a blast from the past for Lorelei and myself to get to be back at a college tournament commentating. Just watching these ladies warm up, they seem very talented. We're very excited to see what direction we go in here.
Lorelei, it's interesting. We walked in yesterday, and of course you guys won the first ever national championship at the University of Virginia. It seems like a lifetime ago. It's really only been a couple of years, and you still know so many of these players. They kind of turned around with odd looks on their faces like, are you guys back in graduate school? What's going on? You're not playing, right?
Yeah, we didn't get the warmest welcome on the first glance, but we still told them we were commentating it. Worked itself out.
But no, I know on behalf of DUPR and the entire Collegiate Pickleball Tour, excited to have you with us here today. Here is Delaware #1, Ariana Hairsign. Leah Walter, that's whom we'll see here in women's doubles. They'll be followed by Chris Segretti and Garv Singhal in men's doubles. I've seen this team play before. You've been watching them warm up here, David. You can see it already, particularly on the women's side. Ariana Hairsign, really an advanced game.
Absolutely. I've been loving that two-handed backhand dink that she's got. I'm sure we'll see lots of that once we actually get going. It's got a lot of brush in the ball, really keeps that heavy topspin. It's very aggressive.
She does have that TUI, and we'll introduce you to the players just a second in terms of whom they are on the court. But you mentioned the TUI as we look at the roster for UNC Charlotte. Sarah Coleman and the entire UNC Charlotte 49ers team added nicknames, and hers was TUI. So we'll see what kind of TUI she has here as we open it up with women's doubles. Her partner, as you just saw there, Kylie, or as she put it, Smiley McCarty for women's doubles. Excellent atmosphere here inside the Robbinsville Pickle House. This is my first time to this facility. Fantastic venue here. We appreciate all of their hospitality, getting us up and running. Of course, Cam Meeks is with us as the executive producer of Performance Productions. Let's take a quick timeout as we look at the win probabilities. Heavily favored Delaware Blue Hens. We'll see if that holds true. On the other side, women's doubles kicks off Championship Sunday from the New Jersey Super Region. All right, it is semifinal time. Delaware, UNC Charlotte. The serve belonged to UNC Charlotte first. That was Kylie McCarty with the serve. Blue hat for Delaware. That is Leah Walters. And white hat introduces herself quickly with that two-handed rip. That is Ariana Hairsign, and she is full of energy this morning as the Blue Hens strike first.
Ooh, nice little shake and bake.
See that energy from Hairsign and Walter right now. He's kind of bouncing around literally on the court. Walter, the lefty. Ooh. Found the corner, and Delaware firing on all cylinders thus far.
Yeah, it's so important in rally scoring like this to get a big lead, so it's good to see Delaware starting out swinging.
The serve belongs to Hairsign, senior from Southampton, New Jersey.
Well, and I do like that move. I'm seeing some good variation on the third shots from Delaware here. I like that they both have a drive they look comfortable with. Seems like they're both comfortable dropping as well.
The floor is lava at that point. A few balls out of the air back and forth.
UNC Charlotte desperately needed that side out. Now we'll see the serve of Sarah Coleman.
Oh.
And there is that two-handed rip through the middle.
She's earning that nickname.
It's always interesting. You can learn so much about personality just from a simple kind of Q&A form. And you just love the fact that UNC Charlotte not taking itself too seriously. We've got Sarah Tui Coleman, Kylie Smiley McCarty, and in a little bit we'll see Abe Smooth Vasquez and Linus Beast Lingle. Yeah. And again, these are not nicknames we provided. (5-2) off the serve of Hairsine. Quick points thus far, guys. We really haven't had an opportunity to see that Tui in terms of dinks. A lot of times, often in the early portion of these semifinal rounds, you get some nerves, and when you have the nerves, you get pace.
And sometimes it's good to just hit through the nerves right there. We see Delaware's having a lot of success with that drive and crash off the third shot. That just puts so much pressure on. It's very overwhelming, especially when you are nervous.
Yeah, I think for UNC Charlotte, they really want to get Delaware into those style of points. It might not ultimately prove fruitful, but...
Or you can just do that.
Yeah, and that's kind of been what it's been thus far. Delaware's had the best of it, but UNC Charlotte, Coleman, and McCarty earn the serve back. That was going to be well out, but it was also a 99%er, so Walter says, you know what, I'll just finish what I started.
Off the tape.
Tape help for Walter. And again, seeing some teams that we haven't historically been able to see. Most of the super regionals have been quite a bit south of here just a couple of weeks ago in Columbus, Ohio. Of course, we broadcast for you back in the Buford, Georgia. Seeing some athleticism from Leah Walter.
One woman shake and bake once again.
Walter does have the tennis background along with platform tennis, which is not something you see a lot. This is just her second pickleball tournament.
Wow.
Good drive.
Delaware is really looking comfortable here.
And again, we saw that Duper predictive metric at 92%. So based upon the cumulative Dupers of these four players, Delaware was heavily favored. They have played like it thus far. Let's take the change of ends as an opportunity to introduce you to these players. I mentioned Leah Walter, senior from Westchester, Pennsylvania, 22 years of age, just her second pickleball tournament, but a two-time national champion in junior platform tennis. So certainly she's not newcomer when it comes to tournament variety pressure. Her partner, Ariana Hairsine, I mentioned from Southampton, New Jersey, senior. Comes from a golf background, and as do I. I've always said if you can handle the pressure of a golf tournament, pickleball is nothing, because there's nothing like standing on a tee knowing that you can hit 10 in a row out of bounds, and no one's coming to help you. Worst thing that happens here is you get pickled.
Oh, what a reset.
Yep, there you see UNC Charlotte able to slow the pace a little. And I think that's really their only path forward for success here. Along with some miscues, that's really the first we've seen from Delaware.
Yeah, Delaware's really been dictating the pace of this game so far. Great drop.
And the reaction from Coleman tells you everything you need to know.
Well, she had the right idea. Can't blame her for leaving it. I would have done the same thing.
That's a fantastic shot.
Yep.
Just didn't have quite the pace that Hairsine thought it did. But you're right, you leave or don't based more on elevation than pace a lot of times.
Going for a cheeky drop shot there. I've been in those shoes.
It's a simple shot until it's not, right?
Yep.
Exactly.
UNC Charlotte hanging tough here in women's doubles. Opening game of our first semifinal.
Nice dink pattern. Nice slow point from UNC Charlotte there. Kylie looks super comfortable on that right-to-right dink pattern.
Yep, I think that's a pattern they're going to want to try to replicate.
Yeah, right to right, but righty to lefty.
Mm-hmm.
Smart leave by UNC Charlotte. Sometimes those balls are very tempting to hit when they're up at your shoulder.
That's a great shot from Delaware, taking a little bit of pace off the line, off the ball there.
There we see the cheeky drop shot with some success.
Mm-hmm.
So 14-9 for Delaware. They've been in control since an opening 4-point barrage.
Back to the dink pattern.
Switched feet. And it worked.
Yep.
Saw it seemed like they could go forever when it was the forehand of Kylie against the backhand of Walter, but switched to her left foot is what I was referencing, made her go to the forehand dink.
And I like the idea on that lob.
Definitely lob in here. The apex of the ceiling is at Robbinsville Pickle House, but I had to guess, I'd say 40 feet. This was formerly an indoor soccer facility. As I was told yesterday, they needed new turf to continue as a soccer facility, and they said, scratch that. I'm going to build this glorious facility. 16-11 for the Blue Hens.
Good pressure from Delaware there, not letting UNC Charlotte make their way up to the kitchen line.
Really liked the idea there, though. Reset that rather than attack. The instinct was good from Hairsign. Sat on the top of the tape.
We've had a few points back-to-back now where each team is catching the other team in the transition zone. I think both teams have adjusted to the pace.
Excellent spot and roll from Ariana Hairsign.
I like the idea. Sometimes when you get that overhead, it's easier to drive the ball than to try to reset it perfectly back into the kitchen. So I like where her head is.
Well, the instincts from Hairsign very good thus far throughout this opening game.
Great pressure.
That's some great defense there from UNC Charlotte, but Delaware just did not let up.
We saw our first paddle clank there from the righty-lefty combo from Delaware. Impressed it hasn't happened more often. That's always a struggle. Ooh. Oh.
Wanders just a touch deep. Well, go back to what you were saying, David. The reason you see that more with right-left, of course, is because both forehands are in the middle, whereas when it's two right-handers, it's the forehands ball. How do you adjudicate that?
Practice.
And speaking as a lefty, I think the most important part. Oh, wow, great defense.
Great
lead. That's a fantastic point.
Excellent communication. You heard McCarty let Coleman know it was out.
we've got some energy back in the UNC Charlotte side. It's 15-18. These longer points are really favoring the green team.
Yep, back to a pattern they like, and you see McCarty didn't want to stay in it, and suddenly it's a 2-point affair.
You'll notice in that right side dink pattern, Kylie's moving around a lot less than Leah. She's much more stable, much more confident, much more comfortable.
That was really the first misfire we've seen from that right side for UNC Charlotte.
The commentator's curse. Love that drive.
Beautiful.
Yep. Nice and dipping, really hard to keep the pressure on when it's dipping towards your knees like that, right over the tape.
And you achieve that by taking a lot of pace off. You see a lot of players come out from tennis trying to hit everything 100%, but that 70% drive is so successful.
Hair sign says, I've had enough. Let me get involved and finish this off. Delaware was out in front early. Lot of gut from the UNC Charlotte 49ers to the middle of that game. I felt like it could have gotten away from them and did not. They hang in there, but the Blue Hens own a 1-game-to-none lead. It's our first semifinal from the New Jersey Super Regional. This is the Collegiate Pickleball Tour, and we return to the Robbinsville Pickle House in just a moment.
What's your DUPR?
When the world sleeps, greatness rises. And while others dream of the next level, we chase it. Challenging every limit, turning obstacles into stepping stones. Because the next level isn't just handed to you, it's earned. Go next level with 6-0 Pickleball.
Women's doubles belongs to the Blue Hens of the University of Delaware. It is our first semifinal from the Robbinsville Pickle House. John Laser, David Beeger, Lorelei Singsank, pleased to be with you as you look at the DUPR predictive analysis for men's doubles flipped on its head. It was 92% for Delaware in women's doubles. Let's go the other way. 93% favoring the 49ers here in men's doubles, and that is because of the tandem of Linus Lingle and Abe Vasquez, or as they introduced themselves to us, Abe Smooth Vasquez and Linus Beast Lingle. But Vasquez is a beast. 5.1 DUPR. That is the highest amongst all competitors in this matchup, male or female. On the other side, Chris Segretti. I believe that the DUPRs may not tell the entire story of this matchup. I do not think this is going to be one-sided. I have seen Chris and his partner play before, Garv. I think they can hang in there. If they are able to win, that's Delaware. Men's doubles, of course, a commanding lead heading to mixed doubles. This is Linus Lingle to serve, the lefty. We'll get another left-right combination this time for UNC Charlotte. Wanders wide on Lingle.
A little nervous on that first point.
Soft hands all around, though. I like what I'm seeing on that ding pattern.
This is Garv Singhal to serve. His partner Chris Segretti is in the blue Delaware shirt.
Beautiful topspin drop from Garv.
We're seeing a really loose wrist out of Garv there. You see it on both the forehand side and the backhand side. He has that too, but he's able to move the ball around very well.
Off the tape, and you see the head hang from Vasquez. It's been a quick start for Delaware, out to the 3-0 lead. Ball wanders in from an adjacent court, which leads to a quick pause. Now, we were mentioning the humor from UNC Charlotte in their player bio, answered the questions. But we also saw that play out. David, you just asked Linus Lingle, what's the max bench?
395 pounds.
And he immediately smiled and said 395.
Yep.
I thought you'd never ask.
Yep. Awfully nimble for a big guy like that.
He moves phenomenally well, and football in his background, wrestling in his background, and you see that in the footwork.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to get 5 more pounds, though. Get to 400.
He needs to measure it by plates, as in 1 or 2.
Oh. So the argument here, I believe, is whether or not Garv made contact with the ball past the plane of the net.
Past the barrier. What's interesting is I thought the ball prior that Lingle played was out.
Yeah.
And Linus quickly got the smile back on his face. Manny, our lead referee, says no.
Beautiful combination.
And for the first time, we see Singhal peacocking a little bit after that, and I think that was in reaction to the protest over his Ernie.
Yep.
Oh, what a
Wow.
reset.
Did he switch hands for that?
Segretti, he did. He hit that lefty.
How about that? Putting on a show for us, folks.
7-1 Delaware, and I'm not saying that this will hold, but this is kind of what I was insinuating. 93% DUPR favoring UNC Charlotte, but I've seen Segretti and Singhal play before, and I've seen this before. Absolutely no jitters from this tandem.
No.
And they certainly don't feel as though that they are a heavy underdog.
Certainly not.
You can see that in their body language.
Yep. They're not playing timid.
I'm talking to some of the players from Virginia Tech who are the heavy favorite this weekend, the Hokies' #1 team from Blacksburg. They felt like if they are fortunate enough to advance to the final, that it may be the Blue Hens who meets them there. And again, Delaware has claimed women's doubles and off to an extremely strong start here in men's doubles at 9-2.
Beautiful drop. So aggressive.
That's a great shot from Linus Lingle right there.
Linus handled that perfectly. Made him uncomfortable with that short drop shot into the kitchen. Lure him into the slow game.
Just wide from Chris Segretti. We saw a very casual out call from Abe Vasquez, and that's his entire demeanor. Under hobbies, he says, "None, I'm just a chill guy."
Fair enough. Honest Abe.
10-5, though, on the missed drop from Vasquez, and that's really the first sign of frustration we've seen from Abe. It wasn't really outward. He's just kind of muttering to himself. But the Cardinal sin comes back and rally scoring from Segretti. 3-point off the service here.
Nice drop. Ooh, and he's
Ooh,
there.
He's ready.
Vasquez was there, but sent it wide, and that will lead to the change of ends. So again, heavily favored men's tandem from UNC Charlotte, trailing Delaware 11-6. Right back to the Robbinsville Pickle House. John Laser, David Beeger, Lorelei Sing-Sank with you from Robbinsville Township, New Jersey, and the Collegiate Pickleball Tour New Jersey Super Regional. 11-6, the lead for Delaware. Guys, what does UNC Charlotte need to do to turn this one around?
Yeah, if I'm UNC Charlotte right now, I'm thinking try to drop, bring all players up to the net, and keep the ball to the right as much as possible. Garv has been pulling trigger really early, really effectively, and if they can keep the ball out of his strike zone, I think they're going to be able to slow the game down and make it a more even fight.
It is the second service error we've seen from Delaware, one each. David, you concur?
I do. It's interesting with a lot of teams. They gravitate towards this left-to-left dink pattern. But right now, it's not working out super well for UNC Charlotte, so I think making this adjustment just like they are now. Oh. And there we see Garv pulling the trigger very effectively again.
And we saw some emotion from Garv during the changeover there. A little bit frustrated that Lingle was still complaining about that Ernie way back at the beginning of the game. Critical middle section of this men's doubles game. And that was wide.
And I don't mind the look from him. You know, it looked like a little too small of a target, but the goal of driving it down that line was a good spot.
Totally agree. We've got a little momentum coming for UNC Charlotte, bringing it back to within 4 points here.
And we've seen a couple of missteps here from Singhal. He was masterful at the beginning of this game, but we saw the missed serve, missed dropped, and then that. Really hasn't forced the 49ers to win points. Lingle will be seeing that.
Great point, though.
Great hands from Vasquez there.
And Vasquez got Lingle exactly what he wanted.
Great hands from Chris, too, to stay alive.
Yep. There you see a little bit of that frustration.
And I call that the mod miss. I play with the mod, too. And it goes a lot longer than really you mishit it, just because the paddle's so powerful.
Oh, what a
What a shot from Segretti.
Nice and deceptive. Holds it on the paddle for a long time and just sneaks it right down the line.
Segretti from Long Island. He's a civil engineering major and a senior. Also plays club baseball for the University of Delaware, so multi-talented. Take a look at this shot back from Segretti. Cam Meeks showcases our newest toy. Singhal says no apology necessary. That happened because he lost his footing, actually, and was falling towards the middle there.
Been there before. Put your head where the ball's going.
Yep. So he shook it off very well, as you have to in rally scoring.
Yeah, he was ready for it, but a good spot from Lingle.
And
Put it in on the body. Yeah. Timeout taken by the University of Delaware. 16-13 for the Blue Hens. They won women's doubles, had a big lead at 9-2, in fact, in men's doubles. UNC Charlotte clawing their way back. Timeout taken by Delaware, and that's because the 49ers, UNC Charlotte, Lingle and Vasquez have closed to within 3 points and also own the serve. That serve comes from Abe Vasquez.
Good get.
Lingle changed his mind. I thought he was going to attack that.
Me too.
And he thought he was too.
Yeah. Another loose error on the third. We've been seeing quite a few of those out of Delaware in the past.
Yeah, and that's the first thing I really haven't liked from Segretti in this game there. And the reason being, you saw frustration on the face of Linus Lingle for the first time. He was muttering to himself, shaking his head. That's when you want to make a guy play. Oh. Just like that. And Delaware made them play and made it hit it one more time.
Fantastic defense from Delaware there. Slight miscommunication on the overhead with that lefty-righty combo, just like we were mentioning. Not sure who's going to take it when the ball has that much time in the air.
Oh.
And we called both feet off the ground while serving. It is not a point fault, but it is a do-over, as it were.
I don't know that I've seen that.
I have never seen that. 18-14.
I'll give it to Chris. He certainly uses his legs in that serve.
And on the second one, he made sure both feet were planted on the ground. 18-15. Too much time to think about it for Segretti.
The speed up into the speed up is always tempting off the tape, but it's very rarely a good decision.
And that's what one of the first misses on that backhand slice drop we've seen out of Lingle.
And you can see in his reaction, he's not used to missing that shot. What a great shot by Singhal.
Yeah, a lot of people look at that like it's an unforced error from Abe, but that ball is just coming so heavy off the paddle of Garv with that aggressive spin on the drop. It's really tough to control.
And you miss it because you either hit it perfectly or you pop it up. And that's going to do it. So again, as you hear the exuberance from the Blue Hen faithful from Delaware, Garv Singhal looks over and says, "What you got now?" We got mixed doubles, 2-0 for the Blue Hens as they claim women's and now men's doubles.
What's your duper?
Mixed doubles game 1, Delaware has the 2-games-to-none edge as they claim both women's and men's doubles. And you look out onto our stadium court here inside the Robbinsville Pickle House, and you'll see our first mixed doubles matchup. Linus Lingle, Kylie McCarty for UNC Charlotte, trying to force it to a second mixed game. Chris Segretti, Ariana Hairsine on the other side for the Blue Hens. Saw the 85% favorability, but there's some frustration from Lingle carried over from men's doubles.
Yep.
And this kind of matchup with lefty-righty combo and mix with where the guy is the lefty is always interesting because you get the unusual pattern of having the girls straight up from each other and the guys straight up from each other.
I love the first flick. A little ambitious with that last one.
Yeah, like I said, you can see it on Lingle's face. He's carrying over some of the emotion from men's doubles, trying to force things here a bit.
Great deep return.
Yeah, Hairsine really didn't have a ton of options. Chose the heroic one. Lingle's just kind of looking around saying, how is this happening? It's tournament feel, right? Shots you never miss.
When we saw he's got the background in wrestling and football, usually you can hit your way out of those problems.
Hit your way out of it and also look to your teammates, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Not so much in wrestling, but in football for sure.
Ooh. Great drive from Ariana.
And we saw so much energy from Hairsine in women's doubles, and she's matching that here in mixed thus far. And again, it's Delaware that gets out to a very strong start, as has been the case in each of the 3 games thus far.
I like the big serve from Chris there. Force the error on the return, and even if it's in, it really sets them up for a good third shot drive.
And there's some more controlled pressure from Lingle. I think if he keeps with that pattern, they're going to be able to gain back a little bit of ground here. But there's that drive again. You know, it's tough when you're switching from men's doubles to mixed as the guy from what I've seen. It's really hard to not want to overhit there and put a lot of pressure on ends.
Well, honestly, obviously, Lingle is a strong guy, has plenty of power. You can just see that in his physical makeup. Love that pressure from Hairsine right there.
Right at the hip of Kylie. It's no matter which way your paddle is, forehand or backhand, that's a tough spot to cover. So a fantastic speed up from Ariana.
Miss hit on the overhead.
Great defense.
Oh.
Wow.
Point of the match thus far. How did the Blue Hens win it?
Fantastic. The defense, right until you get that perfect ball, and Ariana pulls the trigger to great success. You love to see it.
Just an emotional outpouring from Chris Segretti.
Yeah.
Has not changed expressions one time through men's doubles and mixed doubles. Love that.
He's stone cold.
Cool as a cucumber. And there you see that left-right dynamic, Lorelei, you were talking about, comes way over to take that drop. Really probably should have left that to McCarty.
Well, you know, I actually don't mind him taking it, but I think he's going for a really small target, trying to drop it right down the line there. And if he's going to take it, going for a bigger target and buying them time to get up would be a better move.
And now it's Segretti pushing the issue, and it's Delaware with an 11-3 lead on the change of ends. UNC Charlotte trying to steady themselves as we change ends, needing to claim mixed doubles 1 to continue this first semifinal.
When the world sleeps, greatness rises. And while others dream of the next level, we chase it. Challenging every limit, turning obstacles into stepping stones. Because the next level isn't just handed to you, it's earned. Go next level with 6-0 pickleball.
11-3 for the Blue Hens off the serve of Chris Segretti. But a quick response from Linus Lingle. And guys, the question obviously is, what does UNC Charlotte need to do to reverse the momentum in this first mix game? Winning the first 2 points is the easy answer.
Yeah.
Clean up the errors, I think, is the other answer, right?
I think so. We've seen a lot of emotional play from UNC Charlotte so far. Just to get into these longer points and give themselves a true shot is really what I would say.
Agreed, and I think making their targets a little bit bigger. Part of the reason I say that is that Ariana's been handling the pressure really well, and she hasn't been making a ton of unforced. And so choosing a bigger target on the thirds, for instance, instead of trying to get it right in her corner.
Or you can do that.
Or you can do that.
Well, and for Lingo, we were talking about this earlier, he was kind of jamming himself on his drive, not extending that arm. So therefore, he wasn't able to charge forward like the beast that we know that he is. We've all played players like this. You guys can be that player. When you can't slow someone's forward momentum, you're just a sitting duck.
Yeah.
And I think Delaware might need a timeout here pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Lost 5 consecutive points since the change of ends. Hairsign sends that long, and it's interesting, the change of ends has been like a flick of a light switch here. Shots that Delaware was executing perfectly.
Wow, that's a great combo of drive and drop.
And there is that timeout taken by the Blue Hens. But it's also been a light switch for Linus Lingle. The drives that he was missing on the other side, they have been exquisite now that they're on this end. And UNC Charlotte right back in this thing, trailing by a point. And really the difference has been the execution of Linus Lingle. The shots that he was missing early in the match, now he's executing. And you can see when he does that, guys, he's kind of a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely. I mean, he's a big player, right? He can cover a lot of court. He's got a great reach. So when he's really firing on all cylinders, it's like, how do I keep the ball away from this guy? He's putting so much pressure on.
He is the best forward momentum of anyone on the court right now. And when he's making that first third, he's winning almost every point. He's setting himself up so well.
Lingle's serve, again, there's been 7 consecutive points since the change of ends. Look out.
Never see it again.
You see the tenor of this game has just completely changed. Ariana Hairsign a little timid on the pressure from Lingle.
Kylie's doing a great job here with her positioning. She's a rock when the ball gets to her, but she's also giving Linus the space by playing a little bit off the line to allow him to come in front of her to keep that pressure on. It's easier said than done, but she's doing a great job of it.
And there is the first misstep from Lingle in quite a long stretch. Evens the score at 12-12, and see if Delaware can steady themselves on the side out. They cannot.
There you see some of the nerves. Ariana really was not missing thirds earlier in this match.
And that wasn't because he jammed himself up that time, just higher portion of the net.
Yep.
Yeah, we notice it's easier to play loose when you're down big, and now once the game gets tight, we get the close score line. Seems all the players on the court are feeling the nerves a little bit more.
And Lingo's been trying to take over the court a bit. And you see trying to involve Kylie McCarty. Lingle eventually, though, comes over and gets himself involved. Sends it long, 15-13. Yeah.
Miscommunication cost him the point.
Yeah, Segretti looked like he lapsed in focus there for just a second, and Hairsign expected him to take that middle ball.
It's interesting here with the guys straight up from each other. It's
wow.
Wow, what a shot. But it feels tough to take as much court as in traditional mix because the guy is the one that would be keeping you honest down that line. Could be leading to some of these miscommunications on the side of Delaware.
15 all. And again, it was 11-3 when we changed ends. Oh. Hairsign set that up for Segretti.
Yep.
Nice slice return.
Yeah, I really like the switch up there. Tough to drive that ball when it's so low. The slice doesn't quite bounce as high.
70%.
Nice.
Love that.
Yep. Dipping drive.
Well, that's the shot that's become so prevalent in pickleball. When you have that bigger serve and you can pin someone back, hit that dipping topspin shot right at their feet. Oh.
Nice take. Good defense, too.
Ooh, that's a great point.
Now this is college pickleball, ladies and gentlemen.
Gorgeous defense from Delaware. It's paid off a couple of times, but this time too much Linus Lingle. 18-16. Love that from Hairsign.
Yep. Wow.
Footwork from Linus Lingle.
Yep. Fantastic.
Full eye formation there for the second half of that point.
Fantastic court coverage. And how about those resets from Delaware? We've seen Chris hit that two-handed backhand reset from right off the bounce with, I think every single one has been in the kitchen.
Yeah, Lingle takes a timeout right after he misses the drive, and I love that because he missed that because he's tired. From the point prior, you can see it. I mean, he was all over the court. They said, again, the football background, I don't know that his football days should be over if they are, because he moves it remarkably well. Certainly be a force on the defensive line or linebacker. All right, 19-18. Haven't seen a ton of emotion from Delaware, even when they were up big and then losing that lead. How do they need to structure these next couple of points?
One of the shots that's been really working for them is when Ariana has been going cross-court when Linus is cheating over a little bit. And I think if she can keep moving the ball around, not being too predictable when it gets to her, they're going to be able to gain some ground and maybe get to a game point here.
Delaware would love nothing more than to close it out here without having to compete in mixed doubles too. Again, the Blue Hens hold the 2-games-to-none edge. Big serve.
Beautiful drive. I really like the third shot drives here as an easier way to try to keep Linus out of the point.
And Segretti missed the serve. Lingle makes the call. Delaware protests the call, but it clearly looked long on the trajectory off the paddle for Segretti. So a game point here for UNC Charlotte. And game for UNC Charlotte. And a burst of emotion from Linus the Beast Lingle. Down 11-3. Change ends and take over. We'll go to mixed game 2 in our first semifinal. Delaware still has the edge. 49ers now have the momentum.
What's your duper?
When the world sleeps, greatness rises. And while others dream of the next level, we chase it, challenging every limit, turning obstacles into stepping stones. Because the next level isn't just handed to you, it's earned. Go next level with 6-0 pickleball.
We move to mixed doubles number 2. John Laser, David Bieger, Lorelei Singsank with you from the Robbinsville Pickle House here in Robbinsville Township, New Jersey. Collegiate Pickle Tour rolls along, and this is the New Jersey Super Regional first semifinal. Delaware won the first 2. They won both gender doubles games, but holding a big lead in mixed doubles 1. A lot of credit to Linus Lingle, Kylie McCarty. They mount the comeback and claim mixed 1. 21-19, which leads us to mixed doubles 2. And as you can see, our DUPR predictive analysis, 87% favoring Sarah Coleman and Abe Vasquez against Leah Walter and Garv Singhal. And much of that is due to the 5.1 DUPR carried by Abe Vasquez. We didn't really see him able to get all that involved in men's doubles. I would look for that to change here.
I expect it will. And he's got a great reach. So I think we can look to see him use that forehand in the middle.
You guys said something during warm-ups with Garv Singhal out there warming up. You said just looking at the court, you thought he might be the 5-1 player, and that's because you can see he's got all the shots, but he's also got excellent footwork.
Excellent footwork. We'll even see him, I'm betting, slide some on the hard court.
I'm guessing a big part of the pace of this match is going to be dictated by how much court he takes, how successfully.
Exactly.
So again, Coleman and Vasquez, Singhal and Walter. Delaware a win, and they're on to the final to face either Virginia Tech or Pitt. Should it be UNC Charlotte, the 49ers taking both mixed doubles games, dream breaker for us here in the morning. And of course, I am talking with 2 national champions that won a dream breaker to win the first ever DUPR National Championship. What's that like? Not winning the national championship, but doing it in a dream breaker.
It's a lot of pressure. I think, yeah, you go.
We won it on Lorelei's paddle, so she handles the pressure very well.
Yep.
But it's full of emotions. It's 4 points at a time, singles, and your whole team plays. So every point matters a lot. And it's really the heart of college pickleball.
We'll see if we get there, but it's an early 1-0 lead for Delaware. Excellent read by Leah Walter. Leah Walter, mentioned from Westchester. She's an economics major and a senior. My wife's parents live in Wilmington, Delaware, so we're actually in Delaware quite a bit. Been over to the University of Delaware campus. Just a really cool college town.
Great shots there.
Last night we spent some time on the campus of Princeton, which was the first time they ever thought of allowing me on that campus. Certainly wasn't coming out of high school. Fun area to be up here in the Northeast.
Yeah, I haven't gotten a chance to spend much time up here before, but this is a good little opportunity to get to know the area better.
I should say it's fun when we're inside. The weather outside is frightful today.
Another beautiful drop from Garv. Heavy topspin.
Oh, what a reset by Singhal.
Yeah, well done.
And here's a little nugget. Delaware has had at least a 4-1 lead in each of the 4 games. They held it in gender doubles, but did not in mixed 1. Oh, what a shot from Singhal.
A little stare down from
Looking
Garv
back at
after
Vasquez, and bad read, my friend. Oh, showmanship, I like that. Heat check.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can't blame him.
Vasquez just a misstep. 7-2 for Delaware. Back to kind of the point I was making about having that lead in every game. UNC Charlotte answered that task as a ball infiltrates the court from the adjacent court. That'll bring a halt to play. It's hard to continue to play with no margin for error, which is essentially what UNC Charlotte has done this entire semifinal.
Wow.
Great shot.
Great shot.
Painted the line twice in a row there.
Again, we're going to get Virginia Tech's top team in the second semifinal.
That's a hard shot to hit that Garv hit.
Yeah. Looked like he was going to hit a pretty routine forehand and incorporated the wrist at the last second, got some spin on the ball that caught.
And he's got that very extreme, almost Western style grip.
Wow.
And that allows him to get the spin to keep a shot like that in the court.
Singhal keeps trying to engage with Vasquez, but Vasquez is so chill. He's just like, whatever, man. Great shot.
He's a chill guy.
I see what Singhal saw and thought that it might be there, but the shot from Vasquez took it away.
Beautiful.
I like the way UNC Charlotte played that point. They put pressure on, but they didn't try to use 100% speed on any of their shots. They just kept it controlled and smooth.
Good ball placement, too.
Vasquez can't believe he missed that shot. 10-5 for the Blue Hens. Will Walter the serve. Yeah, and you can see from Garv, he won the point, but he's still frustrated with himself because that shot from Walter set him up perfectly, but he was kind of watching it and didn't get up there in time. It worked out for the Blue Hens. Will the semifinal as well? We change ends and find out on the other side. – 11-5 for Delaware. Singhal Walter ahead of Coleman and Vasquez for UNC Charlotte. Kind of seems like UNC Charlotte, guys, has been content to just kind of sit back and allow Delaware to dictate to them what type of game they're going to play. I wouldn't mind seeing a little more aggression from the 49ers.
Ooh, well done.
Yes.
Good hands from Abe Vasquez.
One thing I like that Leah's doing, even though they lost the point there, is she's moving very well to the right to take a lot of balls to their forehand. And it's letting Garv take almost as much court as he wants.
Ooh, step around the kitchen there. Half Ernie. Beautiful from Abe.
Yeah, and Vasquez, again, asserting himself quicker on the change of ends. And again, in mixed one, he changed ends, and it was like a light switch. As I said, it was all UNC Charlotte after that point. First 3 points on this end go to the 49ers. First 4 points to the 49ers.
Great cross-court drops.
Yeah, fantastic. Whew. I know he missed the next shot, but I actually really like that off-speed, speed-up on the backhand. He recognizes that Leah's off the line there and gives him a lot of space to hit that ball soft and initiate that hands battle. Because Leah is starting that fight from her knees, and she has to hit up on the ball.
It was right there for Singhal, and he was the first to recognize it. It's kind of what we saw in men's doubles. It was a lot of brilliance from Garv, but a few that we would love to see again.
Once again, you're asking the owner of a black Ford F-150 with a license plate ZTX2554 from Pennsylvania to repair the above. You have 10 minutes or will be towed. Thank you.
We've been looking for the owner of a black Ford F-150 for about an hour here. Haven't found them, so we're towing it out of our way. The response comes from Singhal to 13-10, and that's something that we never really saw in mixed one. Never able to steady themselves. A lot of times in rallies scoring game of runs. Can of corn for Cam Meeks, and he dropped it.
We got to see a hard court slide from Garv there. Not quite successful in the point, but successful footwork.
That ball did not bounce the way that Singhal thought it was going to. So 12-13. Similar script to the first mixed game. Leo Walters saying that was good. Certainly off the paddle looked like it was going to be long. 13 all. 49ers have pulled even.
Oh, wow.
49ers have pulled ahead.
Sarah Tui Komen
Living up to her
showing us
name.
how she got that nickname. It's beautiful backhand. Nice and concise, perfectly placed, low. Checks all the boxes. Great
That was
lead.
long again from Singhal.
That's a tough ball to back off of if you're Abe, because he was there. He knew where it was going.
And for the second consecutive serve to Singhal, didn't read the bounce. And a timeout taken by Delaware. So it looked like the Blue Hens were steadying themselves, but just like in mixed one, change ends and change everything. It's the 49ers leading 16-13. Quick timeout from the Robbinsville Pickle House and back to the New Jersey Super Regional. Taken by the Blue Hens. We'll see if it can allow themselves to right the ship here. They were again in the lead, 11-5. It wasn't as dramatic a lead as in mixed one when it was 11-3. That lead evaporates. However, first point out of the timeout to the Blue Hens. Vasquez, big smile because he got exactly what he wanted and took his eyes off it.
We call that a good timeout when you come out and win the first point.
Ooh, that's a great switch up.
Got Vasquez looking middle.
Yep. That's the first time I've seen that, and a great time to pull it out.
See a little bit of the nerves in the last point roll over into that missed return.
Starting to hear from the Delaware contingent again. Of course, much closer in proximity than Charlotte.
Oh, smart shot. Use your surroundings, and he does with the angle overhead into the fence.
Oh, what a shot by Singhal.
Fantastic reach. That's hard to do with a grip that extreme, to reach in that far and pull the ball cross court. It's very impressive. Fantastic shot from Garv.
That is wide.
More controlled pressure from UNC Charlotte. You love to see it.
In command in that point the entire time. 18-17 for the 49ers.
Whew.
18-18.
We've seen that same drive to Garv's backhand a few times, but it doesn't look like he's been phased very often over there.
Brief intrusion.
It's always at 18-18.
哦，
It looks like a tight overhead from Abe Vasquez. You have so much time to think about it in these tight points and try not to miss it.
(2018)
Game point on the paddle of Sarah Coleman.
There it
How
is.
about that?
Comebacks in both mixed doubles games for the 49ers. And you're up with us for Sunday Brunch featuring a Dream Breaker. We decide at semifinal number 1 between Delaware and UNC Charlotte with a Dream Breaker. We're off and running on Championship Sunday from the New Jersey Super Regional.
When the world sleeps, greatness rises. And while others dream of the next level, we chase it. Challenging every limit, turning obstacles into stepping stones. Because the next level isn't just handed to you, it's earned. Go next level with 6-0 pickleball.
What's your duper?
tiebreaker time in our first semifinal. Delaware took both gender doubles games. UNC Singhall. The first point for Lingle, who really spearheaded that comeback in mixed doubles.
I'm expecting we'll see a lot bigger serves here in singles and bigger returns.
Oh, wow.
What a shot from Lingle. And again, you see the big frame and obviously a strong, muscular guy, but very light on his feet.
Mm-hmm.
Short stroke on the drive. It'll be both of the male players out first for both teams. We'll see Segretti against Vasquez in the second rotation. That is wide, and Lingle takes 3 of 4 to get it started for UNC Charlotte. And now Vasquez and Segretti.
The personality matchups of these first two feel very fitting. We have the two fiery players, the first one, the two chill guys.
Yep, haven't seen a ton of emotion from either of these two gentlemen, but we have seen some fantastic pickleball from both.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's a great shot.
Such a good shot. Even if Chris does get there, the ball is so low, and it gives Abe time to be fully established at that kitchen line. It's just going to be so hard to pass him.
Oh, wow.
Jack sock forehand. Run all the way around it. Take it inside in.
For the first time, Vasquez pointing to the crowd saying, are you not entertained? Oh. And he said, he looked over and said, you jinxed me to someone watching. 2-5. Segretti to serve. On the line.
Wow.
Great shot
Fantastic
by Segretti.
shot.
Found the corner. Vasquez applauds on the paddle. 3-5. A split in the second rotation. Now we move to the female players. McCarty out for UNC Charlotte. Leah Walter for the Delaware Blue Hens.
And so much of a dream breaker is momentum and confidence. And you can really see it even if you're coming from a background where you don't have a whole lot of singles experience. If you're coming out with that confidence, you can rattle off quite a few points in a row.
Both of these players have the tennis background.
Mm-hmm.
Nice drop shot.
And it's vice versa too, right? You can be a fantastic singles player and you can go out and you can really struggle in a dream breaker if you're not feeling it. The points just go so fast.
Just misses the corner there. McCarty trying to split these 4 points. Maintain what was the 2-point lead.
Nice deep return. Woo. And what a get off that return.
Yeah.
These dream breaker lineups, and a lot of times it's not necessarily, hey, you. And Hairsign just planted herself in the middle of the court. Dared Coleman to pass on either side. Again, Delaware pulls even. Back to the top of the deck after a couple more points.
And I like her sign. She's aiming middle right now, which is good because it cuts off a lot of the angles that would be created if she was moving the ball around into the corners.
Oh, what a get from Sarah.
Hairsign was not expecting an offensive shot there. Foot fault called on Hairsign on the shot prior to Coleman's winner. But end result the same. First 2 for Delaware, last 2 for the 49ers. And still the 2-point lead that Lingle established for them by taking 3 of the first 4. Final 3 rotations all split their 4 points. And Lingle tries for the big pass. Could not convert it.
Gets him back off the tape.
Singhal smiling.
Beautiful footwork from both of these gentlemen
Yeah.
here.
And I
The
love
cat and
that
mouse.
sportsmanship from Garv there. 11-8, Lingle. Will change ends, but not players. One more point. As Lingle, moment of camaraderie with Garv Singhal on the change of ends. UNC Charlotte down 2 games to none in this first semifinal. And they complete the ultimate comeback. Saw that from North Carolina. UNC Chapel Hill in our Georgia Super Regional. Too much Singhal in the end, but a lot of impressive play from Lingle as well. And we split again to maintain that 2-point edge for UNC Charlotte. Kind of stalemated right now in this Dream Breaker.
Great shots into that backhand corner.
First one for Chris Segretti.
Nice deep serve.
Got what he wanted.
Yeah, Suarez did a nice job of closing down the angle. Just misfired. Magician shot from Segretti.
That's smart from Chris. He waited to see which direction Abe was going to lean. And then once he knew, didn't have to hit a special shot at all.
Yep, that's the old soccer and hockey analogy. Make the goalie make the first move.
Exactly.
And Segretti with a flourish for Delaware. Flips it by taking all 4. And now it's Delaware for the first time with a 2-point lead. Winner on to the final. Our second semifinal coming up, featuring the top-seeded Virginia Tech Hokies.
And again, that backhand corner, it's really working for Delaware right now.
Oh, what a shot.
Get some emotion,
See
I like
a
it.
little pep in the step from Leah.
That's a tough ball to pull down the line. On the run, moving through it. Great precision from Leah.
Call is overturned. It was called out by McCarty, immediately challenged by Leah Walter, and actually the call stands. And Walter calls out and says that was actually out, still feeling as though she was slighted on the call prior. She'll watch this back and realize she wasn't.
She said it with a smile, though. We'll give her credit.
Nonetheless, the impressive stretch continues. 3 out of 4 for Leah Walter for a 4-point lead for Delaware. Some frustration from Coleman. Oh, what a point.
Fantastic.
Are we allowed to clap as commentators?
Yes, you are. And both players deserved it on that sequence.
Yep.
But in the end, it belongs to Delaware, as does a 6-point lead. Pulling away the second pass through here. Excellent read by Hairsine.
Sarah played a great point there. Ariana is just unfazed at that kitchen line. Handled everything very well.
And the surge from the Blue Hens continues to match point.
I'm really impressed by Ariana's singles play there. She was, like you said.
Saw that with doubles. She has excellent paddle. Saw that with doubles. She has excellent paddle control in terms of that spin. She kept just putting it down on the feet.
Mm-hmm.
Singhal wants to end it and does. The Delaware Blue Hens lost the 2-0 lead, unfazed. They claim the Dreambreaker and on to the finals. What a performance from both teams.
What's your duper?
Delaware on to the final. Who will they meet there? We will learn in semifinal number 2. John Laser, David Beeger, Lorelei Sing-Sang Bath with you. It is Virginia Tech taking on this Pittsburgh Panther team, led out by Isabella Gaydosh and Melody Young, as we'll see in women's singles, followed by Ethan Estatico, Derek Ferrer in men's doubles. Heavily favored, however, are the Virginia Tech Hokies. We'll see that as we look at their collective dupers. Nilium Gaze, Heather Murphy, champions of the Performance College Cup a week ago, and trying to cap off what has been a busy stretch of pickleball for Virginia Tech, Nick Hogue will step in men's doubles. More on that in a moment. His partner, well-known top player for Virginia Tech, Cody Miller. Women's doubles, though, will start us up. And again, it's Murphy and Gaze for Virginia Tech. And as you see there, Duper predictive analysis, 94% favoring Virginia Tech. Relatively inexperienced tandem of Gaydosh and Young for Pittsburgh. Virginia Tech was the heavy favorite coming in, guys. You've played that role before when you were back at UVA. It's sometimes difficult to live up to that when everybody expects that you're going to win at the outset of the weekend.
Absolutely. I think there's something to be said for being an underdog. When we had our wonderful run in 2023 National Championship, we had our last 3 matches were all underdog matches. And those are easy to play loose, play free, and really get the ball rolling to get that momentum.
Which is so crucial in rally scoring.
Heather Murphy gets us started with the serve. It's Gaze in the sweatpants. And the first point for the Pittsburgh Panthers. This is Isabella Gaydosh on the serve in the white hat for Pittsburgh.
Good point.
Pitt did not come out here in this semifinal to play timid. Love
No.
it.
Yeah, I was watching Isabella Gaydosh warm up, and you can see she has a really nice soft touch on the ball, but she also generates some power when she gets a full swing, and I think she's going to make this match close.
Nice resets.
Patient approach from Virginia Tech.
A great dink from Nilium, that inside out forehand roll. Very heavy. Tough to take off the bounce like Isabella tried to do.
Ooh.
Just long. I love the idea.
Yeah, it's a great look.
Gaze thought she had converted it, but it just a touch long. So we meet the Pitt Panthers. Serve from Isabella Gaydosh, 21 years of age, from Pittsburgh. Stayed close to home for college.
The finger wag from Nilium there. She says, not today.
Gaze really developing that personality. She's well known, of course, on this collegiate pickleball tour.
I love the middle balls there. It's a great target.
Pressure. We saw that dipping third shot drive like we talked about earlier, forcing Melody to stay back.
It's like a little miscommunication in the middle.
Yeah, Murphy kind of a little late to that ball. I think to your point, Lorelei, she thought Gaze might step in.
Oh, good
Lights
pressure.
out play from Nilium right now.
Gaze really the one that's been representing this Virginia Tech program the longest, along with Cody Miller. Derek Crage, of course, the founder of Virginia Tech's club pickleball team, used to play mixed doubles with Gaze. Later, I would imagine, if we get to this juncture, we'll see Gaze playing with Nick Hogue, who is stepping in for Evan Bernstein for Virginia Tech. Did not make the trip here to New Jersey. Generally, Miller will play with Murphy.
They're a talented mixed team, Miller and Murphy.
better communication in the middle. Heard Niliam Gaze say go. Murphy responded.
In those hands battles, not only are they hitting them hard, they're also hitting them low. So it's really making it hard for Isabella and Melody to stay alive in these hands battles. They have to hit up on every ball.
5-6 off the serve of Isabella Gaydash. 7-5 off the unforced error. Mentioned Gaydash, a Pittsburgh native, she's also the co-founder of the club pickleball team.
Nice play from Heather. Super soft hands to stay in that point, get that perfect reset back into the kitchen.
And you're noticing, it looks like all 4 of these women have both a two-handed backhand and a one-handed backhand, which is a really good combo to have. It means you can adjust to the ball that you're receiving, reach into the kitchen sometimes with the one hand, and other times generate more power and pressure with the two-y.
Nice get.
A lot of options for Gaze. Shows a good spot in the middle, and you kind of get the sense that if Virginia Tech guys just stays within themselves and plays patient pickleball, the more talented team, I would say, at this point. It's kind of a homecoming of sorts for Heather Murphy off her serve. She is a native of nearby Princeton, New Jersey. Murphy was a swimmer prior to pickleball. Excellent dinner recommendations for us last night. It's always nice to have that local knowledge. And that will change ends as Virginia Tech off to a little bit of a slow start for a couple points, but now in control of women's doubles. 11-6 for the Hokies, winner of the second semifinal, on to take on the Delaware Blue Hens. This is the Collegiate Pickleball Tour presented by DUPR Performance Productions and coming to you from the Robbinsville Pickle House. Seconds. 11-6 for Virginia Tech. Their serve, Niliam Gaze to do the honors. Kind of a north-south tandem here between Murphy and Gaze. Mentioned Murphy from Princeton, New Jersey. Meanwhile, Gaze hails from Orlando, Florida. Now Virginia Tech really finding their rhythm in this game.
Gaze is dictating very well from the left right now. She's moving the ball around. She's making Pitt's team much more uncomfortable with the placement.
Heather being a rock.
Great defense by Heather Murphy. Kind of a wry smile afterwards. We saw her able to stand up to that pressure from NC State in mixed doubles last week as Virginia Tech prevailed in a must-have-it mixed doubles matchup. Bernstein actually flipped that script later, but Murphy held Tech in it, along with Cody Miller, and eventually they prevailed in a dream breaker. That was down at our place in Richmond, Virginia, and a timeout taken now by Pitt, now trailing 14-6. It's been quite the run here for Tech, though. 6 consecutive points to kind of take control.
Yeah, if I'm Pitt right now, I'm trying to think about how I can slow the point down, try to regain some control of the placement, and maybe try to initiate a little more aggression, although Heather really did hold up under that onslaught that she just received.
Virginia Tech is playing very good fundamental pickleball right now. We've got Heather on the right side, and her counters and resets are really on right now. And Niliam from the left is dictating with those dinks. I think if I'm Pittsburgh, I need to try to shift the pattern the other way. Maybe get Heather in those dink battles, try to make her dictate, and then see how good Nilium's hands are.
Saw the paddle slip in the hand of Melody Young there. Could see it waffle. Sent it wide. Murphy able to elude that effort from Isabella Gaydash. Well, it's always fun to get kind of a insight into some of the personalities of the players. Gaze and Murphy, of course, we know pretty well, but Gaze listed again. Other achievements or hobbies: trilingual and drinking energy drinks after 5 p.m. and still being able to sleep. That is not a talent I share. Diet Coke in the PM, that's not good. As you'll discover on our ride back today. 7-17, Pitt trying to hang in there. That won't help. But this New Jersey Super Regional, really an opportunity with bids to nationals on the line. Of course, Tech already has theirs from winning the College Cup last week. But an opportunity for some of these other programs like Pitt to get onto this broader stage and get experience here. And that's kind of what this New Jersey Super Regional has represented, not some of the traditional powerhouses that we usually see.
So how many teams receive a bid from this Super Regional?
4. But I'm glad you asked, because that is the restructuring to play this Nationals in the spring, which, again, a lot of people, including, I believe, yourselves, love to see that change. And that'll do it. So too much of the Virginia Tech women. Murphy and Gaze get it started with a strong effort in women's doubles. 21-7, it's men's doubles. Right after this, Virginia Tech, the top seed this weekend, and looking like it thus far.
What's your duper?
When the world sleeps, greatness rises. And while others dream of the next level, we chase it. Challenging every limit, turning obstacles into stepping stones. Because the next level isn't just handed to you, it's earned. Go next level with 6-0 pickleball.
Virginia Tech holds a 1-game-to-none lead in our second semifinal. Winner on to face the Delaware Blue Hens in the championship match of our New Jersey Super Regional. Now the Collegiate Pickleball Tour, DUPR, MLP, PPA, all combining efforts to advance collegiate pickleball ever farther. Certainly that has occurred. First ever Collegiate World Championship coming up at the UPA World Championships in the fall, but Nationals dead ahead in the Atlanta area, Peachtree, Georgia, at the outstanding Lifetime facility. I know that holds special significance for you guys being David Beeger and Lorelei Singsank, as that's where you claimed your national championship, and that's where we'll crown another here in just a few short weeks. Cody Miller on the court, and his partner Nick Hogue not his usual partner. These two have played quite a bit together, but Evan Bernstein we're used to seeing along with Cody Miller, at least as of late. But Hogue, an accomplished player in his own right. They are matched up against Derek Ferrer for Pitt, along with, you guys got to help me out with this here, because you look at Ethan Estatico and spelled it out phonetically and then said like the nut. That's not a nut that I'm familiar with, but suppose he would know better than us.
I hope so.
But Ethan and Derek, the pair for Pittsburgh. Ethan, 21 years of age, a junior from Pittsburgh. Actually, both of these two from Pittsburgh. Really cool campus in downtown Pittsburgh. Both of these schools representing the ACC. See the shirt from turned at the moment. Ethan, the Oakland Zoo shirt, and of course is the famed basketball student section at Pittsburgh basketball games. Back about 10 years ago, they really had it going, and that was one of the more difficult places to play in the country.
We've got a nice quote from Ethan. He said, and I quote, "I basically run the University of Pittsburgh." So I'd like to see some of that confidence come from him at the start of this match.
Little indecision there to start off the match.
And this is a Pittsburgh team that prevented an all Virginia Tech semifinal. Tech actually traveled 3 teams here to New Jersey. Quarterfinal this morning, Pittsburgh defeated Virginia Tech 2.
Nice pull.
Great spot right there from Ethan Estatico.
That's the tough thing about those slice dinks, is that they're very vulnerable to someone reaching into the kitchen like that. Whereas the top spin dink, it will dive a little bit more. It's a little bit harder to take out of the air.
Ooh, great hands.
Excellent defense from Derek Ferrer. Ferrer has the tennis background, also a baseball player. Phenomenal serve return from Hogue. Again, Virginia Tech able to claim that College Cup. It's about a 3-hour drive, 3:15 from Plattsburgh to Performance Pickleball in Richmond, but they were well represented. Of course, Richmond is a huge Virginia Tech town. It speaks to the level that Cody Miller has taken his game, and we discussed it a lot last week. The player that he's become, that he admittedly did not play his best last week and still led Virginia Tech to victory.
And you're seeing it on display there, that ATP combo into the put away. Really clean.
This is the serve to follow up. There's the broadcaster's jinx right
Yeah, there you
Not
go.
your fault, Laura. You had to comment on that gorgeous point prior.
Good combo. That's a great drop from Derek. It kind of lulls Cody into thinking he can keep him back, but then in order to hit it hard, you have to hit it high. And Derek crashes that high ball very well.
Now you see a little bit of confidence surge from Pittsburgh as they have pulled even at 5 apiece. You guys talked about playing in that underdog role, right? You can see that playing pretty free right now.
Absolutely. Same thing right there. That beautiful drop lulls you into thinking you can keep him back, and it's just too high.
See where Ethan Estatico setting up.
I like that look from Cody.
He does that really well. It's an uncharacteristic miss on the lean-in backhand flick.
7-5. The last 5 for Pittsburgh. Estatico, again, kind of that heat check coming all the way across.
We've had an uncharacteristically large number of lefties on center court today.
Nice combo.
Shots.
Statico in particular on that left side playing very aggressive right now. Haven't seen a ton of emotion or energy thus far from Virginia Tech. Miller looking back at a spot on the court. That ball didn't bounce the way that he was expecting.
Beautiful dinks from Ethan, too. All of them just deep enough in the kitchen. Oh, what a drive from Derek.
Found the baseline. This is an 8-point run here for the Pitt Panthers to lead 10-6. Virginia Tech's going to let it go, not take a timeout. Let the end change do it, if in fact they drop another point. Will not yet, so 7-10. Again, you see Estatico pushing the pace here on that one bounce speed up back to Miller. 11-7 for Pittsburgh, and somewhat of a surprise in men's doubles thus far. Tech did claim women's doubles to lead 1-0.
What's your duper?
11-7 for Pitt. There you see that more characteristic flick from Cody Miller.
And beautiful defense from Nick Hogue there. I know he wanted us to shout out his girlfriend Bella watching back home. So Bella, thank you for watching.
Great job, David. Your first ever shout out. Quick side out though, back to Pitt, 12-8. Again, we saw the confidence start surging. It was 5-2 Virginia Tech. And Estatico really challenging and coming forward. He's continued to do so.
Great hands.
If I'm Tech here, I'm trying to figure out a way that I can start pulling a little bit earlier, because it seems like whoever's initiating is winning the point the majority of the time right now.
And you see Miller getting a bit frustrated here. Gorgeous shot there, backhand scorpion.
Might have saved an out ball, but if you win the point, you forget about it.
Pittsburgh edging closer here at 15-9.
Unlucky.
Nothing you can do about that. So the head shake from Miller, Hogue, and bounce up off the tape over the shoulder. 16-9 for Pittsburgh.
They're really keeping the pressure on, keeping the momentum.
Great placement, again, kind of subtle from Estatico.
Right in that awkward zone, you can see Cody kind of think about, should I volley this ball? Should I let it bounce? And sometimes just that little thought can make you late to whatever decision you decide to do.
Oh, what a shot from Ethan Estatico.
He did a fantastic job of waiting for as long as possible there. Disguised it a little and then got it well into the court. Really impressive.
And kind of you see in the body language a little bit shell-shocked maybe for Virginia Tech right now.
Yeah.
It's 19-10, and with every passing point you start to see Pittsburgh believing like, hey, We're in control here.
Yeah.
Now it's game point at 20-10 for the Pittsburgh Panthers.
I'm surprised we haven't seen a timeout from Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
And that'll do it. The rip into the corner, and it is Pittsburgh in men's doubles 21-10. Ethan Estatico, not to take away from the effort from Ferrer, but wow, Estatico, it's kind of a lightning bolt to a 21-10 win in men's doubles. We're even at a game apiece in our second semifinal. Looks like the Hokies will send out Miller and Murphy first. We'll see how the Pitt Panthers counter after a quick timeout from Robbinsville Township, New Jersey. New Jersey Super Regional continues from the Robbinsville Pickle House here in Robbinsville Township, New Jersey. And we looked at the women's doubles predictive analysis earlier. We saw Virginia Tech had a 94% chance to win that. And that is also replicated here in mixed doubles 1. And that is as Tech sends out their stronger Purdue mixed doubles tandem of Heather Murphy and Cody Miller. Meanwhile, Lorelei Singsank, you see that Pittsburgh sends out Derek Ferrer and Isabella Gaydosh. Ethan Estatico, the much higher duper between the two male players for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh got to respond to mixed doubles here, and not to say they can't win this mixed doubles first game, but this is kind of the play to split and take it to a dream break.
No, it makes sense. We've been in that position before. Back in 2023 when we played nationals, David and I were the probably more extreme than this sacrificial lambs when we had to go out and play Colin Schick, and we had a good time, but I can't say we got a whole lot of points, and I'm guessing that this will not be as one-sided as our matchup was.
And you see the cumulative dupers there, Murphy and Miller 4.716, while Gaydosh and Ferrer 4.018. And the reason I say that, kind of flipping it, is Pittsburgh here, and that's because Estatico, we saw how well he played in men's doubles. His duper's 4.87. He played like a 5.0 plus in that matchup. But then you see Nick Hogue, who is not the usual doubles partner of Cody Miller, but Hogue checking in at a 4.432. So you give that slight advantage on the men's side. However, Nilium Gaze is the X factor in second mixed because she carries a much higher duper than Melody Young. We'll see what happens when we get there, but for now it is Miller and Murphy for Virginia Tech, taking on Gaydosh and Ferrer for Pittsburgh.
Wow.
Miller trying to challenge, and Ferrer was there. I like that from Cody Miller, though. Trying to assert himself early. Quick 2-0 start for the Pitt Panthers.
There
Good
we go.
pressure from Cody there.
Yeah, and that's a better target, I think. The more that they can get Heather into that cross-court dinking pattern and let Cody come over and keep that pressure on, the better their outcomes are going to be.
1-2 off the serve of Cody Miller. Nobody home. Ferrer finds the hole through the middle.
Really smart shot by him. He sees Cody coming in across the court to get to the net. Cody would have to change directions to cover that ball. It's very smart shot placement.
There's that flick roll from Cody Miller that we've seen so many times.
Beautiful drive.
Good depth on that drive from Cody Miller. That wanders just a touch long on Ferrer. So the first lead for Virginia Tech here in mixed doubles one. Now what's been fun is facility operators ourselves with the combination pickleball food and beverage concept. This facility here in Robbinsville, much like Performance in Richmond and Roanoke now, features the tandem of an excellent tournament venue, but also excellent food and beverage operation. You guys just sampled some of the burritos. What's the takeaway?
I'm a big fan. Got an egg breakfast burrito.
Great shot from Heather. Yeah, I didn't sample. I ate my whole one, but it was, it was very good.
Cam Meeks and I are going to get in there after this semifinal.
Oh, wow. That's
Murphy.
a fantastic play.
I've used the boxing term, the 1-2 combination.
That's the Heather Murphy special. Get the ball back when you think it's no way it's coming back.
That's
There
just,
we go. See it again right there.
yep, Murphy able to extend the point, and then a subtly excellent shot for Miller. More
Nice
Heather
hands.
Murphy.
Yep.
Been very interesting. Derek Crage was with me last week on the broadcast of the College Cup and talking about the progression of Heather Murphy's game. Oh, Cam Meeks 0 for 2 on the day. Usually snares those in his sleep.
Yeah, Lorelei and I had the pleasure of playing Heather and Cody a few months ago, and you're absolutely right, John. The amount of progress that she's made just in the last few months is really, really impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Love that right there. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, and finally got the ball she desired from Gaydosh.
Yep.
And she used her reach so well there, reaching in over and over to take those dinks and eventually getting a pop-up.
The backswing took it away from Gaydosh.
Those are so tough off the tape when you hit it with a slice because the ball will bounce backwards off the tape, so not only is it coming shorter after it skids, but the ball's bouncing backwards towards the net. It's very hard to read.
Wow.
Miller read the hole there as
And the
Gaydosh
walk-off.
delayed by the deep serve. So Virginia Tech back on top in mixed doubles 1, 11-5 for Miller and Murphy. Change ends and come right back to our second semifinal.
What's your duper?
Our thanks to Duper and the entire Collegiate Pickleball Tour for having us with you from the New Jersey Super Regional. Virginia Tech and Pittsburgh clashing in this second semifinal. Delaware in a dream breaker, able to defeat UNC Charlotte in a dramatic first semifinal this morning. Change up from Ferrer.
Going across the body of Cody Miller. That's a tough ball as the left side guy because you always want that forehand in the middle. That's your #1 responsibility. So to cover the other side of your body is just always going to be a tough shot.
Great pattern.
Busy travel schedule for Virginia Tech. A couple of weeks ago, they were across the country. Excellent put away by Murphy. Last week in Richmond, this week in New Jersey. Again, the Collegiate Pickleball Tour continues back to the western side, to the southwest. My old stomping grounds, Scottsdale, Arizona, a couple weeks.
Heather and Isabella have been in a really aggressive cross-court dinking pattern. Feels like every 2 or 3 dinks, one of them gets popped up and the other one, whoever can initiate first, is getting the point.
Ferrer couldn't decide whether or not to let that bounce or not. And it's kind of like the women's doubles matchup, which again was a heavy slant towards Virginia Tech. It feels like if Tech just kind of stays within themselves, and they have a decided advantage.
Good
Time
pressure
out.
from Cody Miller there.
Yeah, I love seeing him use that length that he does have. Taller guy.
When he's moving well like that and he's playing confident, he can really cover the whole kitchen out of the air. So then Heather's job is to be that backup that makes the balls and gives him the freedom. She's very good at it.
15-7 for Virginia Tech. Again, we saw Delaware and UNC Charlotte in our opening semifinal. Delaware Blue Hens, after winning men's and women's doubles, needed a dream breaker to close it out, but to their credit, they regrouped and got that job done. Certainly be an interesting matchup between either of these two teams, and Delaware, which we will, of course, have for you before the day is done.
Wow.
Miller was trying to scoot over, and Murphy said, I got it. Don't worry about it.
That third shot drop from Heather was incredible. That's a hard shot to do. And off the rise, backhand, right into the kitchen, inside out.
Now you're starting to see some dejection from Gaydosh on that error that makes it 17-7. Winning school today takes home $2,500, and Murphy had that one right into the no-fly zone. Runner up 1,000, third and fourth each take home $500. Miller, I think, may have thought that was out, but too close to call, played through it. And Virginia Tech rolling here in mixed one.
Yeah, I'm really just seeing no holes in their game right now.
And it's an interesting dynamic here. Again, DUPR still says Virginia Tech has the advantage in mixed two, and we'll show that to you in just a couple moments. But Pittsburgh definitely saved their stronger mixed team for mixed two. And we'll see if they can force a dream breaker, because the top team for Virginia Tech just played like it. Miller and Murphy roll through mixed one, and now they'll try to end it before a dream breaker as they send out Hogue and Gaze. They will be countered, as we just saw in men's doubles, by a phenomenal tandem, Ethan Estatico. Haven't seen anybody playing quite as strong as he did the first glimpse we got. We'll come back. Pittsburgh and Virginia Tech from New Jersey. Mixed doubles 2, Virginia Tech prevails in women's doubles and mixed 1. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh, strong statement in men's doubles. Pittsburgh now down 2-1, trying to force a dream breaker. Virginia Tech trying to end this semifinal and earn a shot at Delaware in the final. Just saw the predictive analysis from DUPR favoring Virginia Tech 74%. However, the highest DUPR of the 4 players belongs to Ethan Estatico, a 21-year-old from Pittsburgh who says he essentially runs the University of Pittsburgh. I don't doubt it. Estatico did not miss that drive very often in men's doubles. The reason Virginia Tech is favored, although Estatico has a higher DUPR than Nick Hogue, is that Nilium Gaze has nearly a full point higher DUPR than Melody Young. And for Gaze, guys, in this game, she's got to try to make it about her versus Young, and unable to do it there on the short return from Hogue.
Fantastic drive right at the left hip. It's low, it's fast.
That serve is long.
And again, when you have a lefty on the court like this and you have both of the women head-to-head, it often comes down to who's able to pinch better, right? Which team is able to really get over onto that left side and put a ton of pressure in that corner.
Wow, Gilliam somehow played that back.
What a save. Lorelei, I think you're absolutely right about the pinching. Whichever team is able to shift towards that women's side and make it a 2v1 battle, that team is probably going to have the most success here.
Gaze, she's got that shot. She sees that window. But you're right, a lot of people, men and women, don't like dinking straight ahead all that much.
Yep.
Quite frankly, I'm one of those people. But you got to do it.
Yep. And the ball sits up a little bit more when you dink straight ahead, so it's easier to speed up. And I think for Virginia Tech, getting these hands battles straight up would be favorable.
Well, and the other thing is Hogue. Don't know Nick all that well, but chatting with him a little bit this morning, seems to be a really fun guy, enjoying the opportunity here this weekend.
Love the mustache.
Yeah. Great mustache. It's a lost art.
Wow.
I don't know if it's on a Kyle Araujo level from Miami. That's, in my estimation, the finest mustache in collegiate pickleball. 5-all. I had a feeling this game might be tighter. We haven't really seen a tight game thus far in the semifinal. All Tech and women's, all Pitt and men's, all Tech and mixed 1. All
Nice
Hogue
shot.
there.
Going across the body of Ethan there. Back when we were playing, I believe the best mustache belonged to Hunter Iono.
Yeah.
Hunter's my man.
Yep.
Miss him this weekend, along with Jacob Smith, our buddies. Hunter, if you're watching, and I'm sure you are, or will be at some point, bring it back, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still got time before Atlanta.
Great coverage here from Ethan. Yeah, well done.
Too much Estatico.
I love the footwork from these players. You can see it's really intense. It shows how much they care and how much they've been practicing.
Great down the line dink.
Back to what you were talking about, Lorelei, a few moments ago. That's exactly what you want to see from Gaze. Pinching it over on Melody Young's side. Great shot by Estatico. Not a lot of options for Hogue there. Let's get to know Melody Young. Again, on this stage with the Pitt Panthers, 24 years of age. She's a graduate student. Sports background in dance, tennis, and swimming, so very athletic. Oh,
Wow.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
hides that to the last moment. Kind of had Hogue on skates there a little bit.
And Ethan, when he's moving, looks like he's on skates, but he's totally controlled the whole time. It's very, very clean.
Just to call that glide speed in basketball.
Yeah.
Great drive again.
This is a point in the match where I might consider returning to Ethan's backhand. He's been really ripping those forehand drives, and when he gets himself into a rhythm, he's been dictating the pace of play. And there you see it again.
That's a great point. It'd be a great idea to pull him off the court, make it a little bit harder for him to take control of that middle.
I know a lot of the wisdom has changed in mixed doubles. Return to the guy sometimes, keep him back. Oh, wow. Somebody shouts, oh my God. I agree. The impossible angle from Estatico and an 11-7 lead for Pitt in mixed 2, trying to force a dream breaker. ACC clash, and it's been a good one. John Laser, David Beeger, Lorelei Singsank back with you from the Robbinsville Pickle House. And a surge from Pitt here in mix 2. William Gaze, Nick Hogue trying to prevent a dream breaker, and you heard some of their conversation as they changed ends, and Gaze was telling Hogue, listen, got to keep the ball away from Ethan Estatico. She said, act as if he's not even on the court.
Well, Ethan really has no qualms coming all the way over there. So that's easier said than done to forget about him.
Well, and a lot of times, as you see there from Hogue, sometimes when you're trying to isolate and force action to one side, it shrinks your eye line and you miss shots that you normally wouldn't. You see it a lot on serve returns. Yeah, there you go from Gaze. It's a good drive from Estatico, but able to direct it back to Young.
Nice reset. Beautiful.
Now, Hogue was the key to that point. Gaze finishes it off.
I think getting Milliam to initiate those fights is going to be key for them. She's on the side of the court where she can really make it happen.
Hogue goes airborne to make it a one-point game. Gaze with the gorgeous shot on the backhand rip.
And she's doing such a good job of keeping that ball low and consistent.
She makes it look effortless. Those are the best ones.
Ran around to that forehand drop, never kind of got all the way sorted out.
It was a nice deep return. And put him on his back foot as he's running around that forehand. It's tough to get the ball up and over.
Oh! Hogue calls it out. And Ethan Estatico protesting that call from Hogue. Estatico trying to check with some of the spectators. Of course, they don't have a official say. And Estatico trying to channel his anger at what he thought was a ball that caught the line. Instead, Virginia Tech takes the lead.
It's so hard not to play emotional after a call like that, and especially in rally scoring where every point matters.
Estatico steadies himself, earns the side out. So again, easily the tightest game of this match. Kind of as we expected. That's serve is long from Melody Young. And you can see the emotions again from Estatico. We do have instant replay. We do not have a challenge system in this weekend. We're working on it. But Kim Eakes went back and reviewed the footage, and shot from Estatico was indeed in. Which doesn't mean that it was a bad call necessarily. Sometimes so quick.
Especially when you're turning your head like that to catch where the ball lands behind you. It's a very tough call to make.
The only reason I brought it up, David, was to bring back the one time that we did have challenge. David being the friend that he is, no one had challenged the entire 4 times. So I said, please challenge. We want to try out this technology.
And I was wrong on every single one.
Yeah, but I think you normally wouldn't have challenged. I think you realized they were whatever the call was.
I think we challenged one that was maybe a foot or so out.
Yeah, but
just to see.
We got to see the technology, so I appreciate it. Seems like a lifetime ago, really wasn't, at the Pickle Lodge up in Cincinnati.
Nick just took a full step onto Nilliam's paddle by accident on his walk back.
And of course, you see that Paddle Tap sponsorship. It's a company out of Florida that sponsors the Virginia Tech team. Saw Evan Bernstein, since they all play with the same paddle last week, changed paddles mid-game. Liked the poach and the read from Estatico, but couldn't harness it.
Great hands.
That was a nice 1-2 punch from both Gaze and Hogue.
You can see the drive from Nilliam over down the line really opens up the middle for Nick. Doesn't even have to worry about his backhand.
Oh. Beautiful get from Estatico, but too much Hogue and Gaze. And Virginia Tech, the top seed, loses its first game of the weekend, but prevails in the match. They're on to take on the Blue Hens for our New Jersey title.
duper.
When the world sleeps, greatness rises. And while others dream of the next level, we chase it, challenging every limit, turning obstacles into stepping stones. Because the next level isn't just handed to you, it's earned. Go next level with 6-0 pickleball.
Back at Robbinsville Pickle House, host site of the Collegiate Pickleball's New Jersey Super Regional, and we are looking at the warm-ups for our finals. Virginia Tech and Delaware, who prevailed in our two semifinal matches. Just saw Virginia Tech defeat Pittsburgh a little earlier today in a dream breaker. It was the Blue Hens of Delaware able to defeat UNC Charlotte. John Laser, David Beeger with you. Lorelei Sing-Sang back in just a moment, but she steps off headset for a very good reason. We have an old friend with us, Timber Tucker, of course, with Indiana Pickleball, and also 6-0, and coach, as you're known, in Collegiate Pickleball. Welcome, welcome. It's great to see you. As always, been another awesome weekend here in New Jersey, and just a lot of really exciting things happening, not only for Collegiate Pickleball, but 6-0 in particular.
Yeah, we got involved with 6-0, Indiana did, over the summer, and that relationship kind of blossomed, and talked to Dale, the owner of 6-0, and he really wanted to get involved in college pickleball. He thinks it's a great way to promote the brand and get to know some students. I mean, his point was, you know, in my lifetime, what am I going to buy? 5 or 6 more paddles? But, you know, we get some of these 20-year-olds, they're going to buy paddles for a long time. So we're really excited about that. We've just become the DUPR kind of paddle sponsor. And so Dale reached out to me and said, would you come to these tournaments and hang out? And I was like, yeah, let's do that. So I'm having a lot of fun.
That's absolutely what we do as well. And, of course, you know this guy very well, David Beeger, the original national champions, University of Virginia, and, of course, a clash that we won't bring up in Cincinnati. But, David, I know you guys share this feeling of just how far college pickleball has come in a pretty short period of time.
Absolutely. It's really inspiring to see the sport grow and college pickleball take off with it. And with 6-0 stepping in to help provide paddles for a lot of these teams and support college pickleball at a bigger level, I think it's a very good move by them. And college pickleball as a whole, I think, is grateful to 6-0.
And, Coach, where do you see it going? You know, I think it was very difficult to foresee, not growth, but as rapid as it's grown, collegiate pickleball, but also high school pickleball now. Of course, DUPR getting involved with that as well, and just younger and younger and more opportunities.
Yeah, it's a conversation we have, it seems like, every day, and it's a little hard to predict. 6-0 has also become the sponsor for the new high school, and we don't even know what that's going to look like yet. But to David's point, you know, when we first started at IU, there were, you know, it was Virginia and North Carolina and Utah Tech and just a couple schools that were clearly better than everyone else. There was just no way anybody was going to compete with them. And now there are a dozen schools out there, maybe more, that are competing at the very top level. And there's a whole group here. One of them is Pitt that we just saw that's just right there. They're ready to make that next step. I've seen some other teams coming along, and it's not going to just be Virginia versus Utah Tech versus North Carolina anymore. Texas has signed a couple of players beyond Jack Monroe, and so it's super exciting. It's super exciting as a representative of 6-0. I'm not as excited as the coach of Indiana because it's just, you know, we helped Purdue get their program going, and there was no way Purdue was going to ever beat us. A couple weeks ago, they beat us. So it's just everybody out there is just getting so good.
Well, and it's just a question of how many degrees can Mev get, you know?
So Mevish Safdar, and on my gravestone, it will say, introduced pickleball to Mev Safdar. It's a real. I've told this story 100 times, but she showed up at our courts one day, and she said, "Hey, I've never played pickleball before." So I started in mansplaining pickleball, and she did say, "You know, I did play tennis at the University of Minnesota." So, but she just signed with the PPA and is looking to play. She really hopes to play MLP. So our days with Mev may be numbered.
Yeah, we actually wanted to say congratulations to Mev, not only one of the finest players there around, but also one of the finest people as well. Coach, as David mentioned earlier, we're all grateful for 6-0 and all that you're doing for college pickleball. And, you know, Indiana, again, kind of one of those OGs of college pickleball as it continues to grow. Hope it's been a wonderful weekend for you and continues to be so. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks for having me on. It's always a great time, and I really appreciate 6-0 as well for letting me come to all these events.
Timber Tucker, Indiana Pickleball, and 6-0. It's the Hokies and the Blue Hens for the New Jersey title. Quick timeout, and right back to the Robbinsville Pickle House. Finals time from the Robbinsville Pickle House. Virginia Tech, the top seed coming into the weekend, taking on the Delaware Blue Hens. Virginia Tech prevails 3-1 in the second semifinal. Meanwhile, Delaware, a dream-breaker victory over UNC Charlotte. Let's take a look at the Blue Hens roster as we get started with women's doubles. You see Leah Walter, Ariana Hairside. They are on court and returning the serve of Murphy to get it started for the Hokies.
Wow.
And that is how you get a final started. That
Yep.
was the best point we've seen today. constant pressure from Virginia Tech, repelled time and time again by the Blue Hens.
Hands on full display for both teams.
And it's funny, Heather hits 2 really, really solid resets in a row, and you can tell she was mad at herself in the 3rd one, but she's so steady in that defensive position.
Wow.
Just keeps attacking Hairsign, equal to that task. Wow.
It's a backhand overhead from Heather. You don't see that very often, but she executed it very well right there.
Well, Virginia Tech's won 2 of these 3 points, but really impressed, particularly with Hairsign from Delaware.
Yeah.
Defense on display. Return error, however. When you're facing a team like Gaze and Murphy, you can't have that. You played so well the first handful of points and then basically a couple freebies. And Hairsign tapping her chest and saying, yep, that's on me. Not an attackable zone.
If I'm Delaware, I really want to try to see what Heather can do on that forehand counter.
Agreed.
Tape help for Gaze. Delaware saying you haven't needed that help. 6-1 for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, Virginia Tech has done a really good job of closing that middle.
Couple of return errors for Delaware. Now a service fault from Heather Murphy. For whatever reason earlier we were talking about Nilium. Someone heard that we said developing a personality. That's not what we said. We said we are learning her personality. We've known Nilium for a long time. One of our favorite people in college pickleball. Loving the banter last weekend. Derek Crage, like I mentioned, the founder of Virginia Tech Pickleball, kind of encouraging the current members on their way to the College Cup title.
Oh.
And Heather Murphy, for one, kept looking over at Derek after she'd have a point like that and say, you should have played me more, when Derek was there.
Now, last point, we saw Delaware find the forehand of Heather, and she handled it with no problems.
It's Murphy now on defense. Make her hit it again. Hairsign winds up playing soccer with the remnants. Never attempted to kick the ball because I know I'd miss, and I would get even more mad and look awkward doing it.
Beautiful drive from Nilium, just like we talked about. It's that 70% drive that she keeps low, she keeps it controlled, and it's so hard for Leah to deal with as she's coming into the net. Once again, same drive, beautiful.
I don't know if I've seen her miss one.
Yeah.
And Murphy's playing very well right now, as is Gaze. They complement each other so well. And
nice
again,
one, too.
Hairsign and Walter were equal to that pressure early in the match, but when you're under constant pressure, eventually you kind of have that dam break, and that's what's happened for Virginia Tech's women here in the opening game of our championship match. It's the finals of the New Jersey Super Regional. This is the Collegiate Pickleball Tour from DUPR, MLP, and PPA. Virginia Tech and Delaware tussling for the New Jersey super regional title on the Collegiate Pickleball Tour. Yeah, and sometimes when you say out, even if you're right, you get that result.
Yeah.
Hit it anyway and miss a shot probably Gaze would have made.
That slight hesitation, you get late to the ball, hit it off the top of the paddle. Happens all the time. Great drop. Beautiful play from Virginia Tech. You see both players kind of shift towards the ball there. So we have the backhand of Heather and the forehand of Nilium are all loaded up, ready to get the ball wherever it goes.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with both of Virginia Tech's women here, the way they've played in this match, kind of coming out and taking care of business thus far. 14-5.
Nice combo from Ariana. Sees the Nilium is just a little bit out of position, brings her even more out of position with that dink that she's forced to let bounce, and then earns the pop up to end the point.
Deceptive speed up from Nilium Gaze.
She does like that shot. Been very effective this weekend.
Just more and more pressure from Virginia Tech. There was some splendid resets in that point from Delaware, but Hokies just kept coming.
Oh my gosh.
What a shot
Fair
by
enough.
Ariana Airside. Wow.
Little applause off the paddle from Nilium. Good sportsmanship. Nothing you can do there but tap your hat. Great shot by Ariana.
Gaze could not have sent that return any deeper. Great
like
read
that
by
move.
Hairsign, yeah. I was reading an article the other day about something that is becoming more prevalent, I guess. Wanted to see if you guys have seen it at the top level, where it's called the bait drop.
Oh, yeah. Yusuf Bouzidi actually is very good at that ball. He'll come charging if you think you can keep him back, but you just can't quite. He's ready to take it if you leave it a little high.
Gaze keeps the point alive. Virginia Tech has an 18-8 lead. It's going to be interesting to see what we see from the Virginia Tech men. Kind of a surprising result in the semifinal. In the end, they atoned in mixed doubles to prevail. We saw Delaware's men play very well in their semifinal.
Yeah. Oh, a little miscommunication.
Score freeze is in place, but you have all the facial expressions of a team ahead, 20-9. Such a great shot by Gaze to set Murphy up there.
If that inside-out forehand, get your opponent wrong-footed.
And you can tell they're playing really confident right now, because there are a couple missed hits or messy shots in the middle there. It just didn't throw Virginia Tech off at all, and they closed out the point really cleanly.
And
Beautiful.
that will do it. Virginia Tech in control from the outset of women's doubles, and they take it 21-9. Men's doubles on deck. This is the finals of the New Jersey Super Regional from the Robbinsville Pickle House.
When the world sleeps, greatness rises. And while others dream of the next level, we chase it. challenging every limit, turning obstacles into stepping stones. Because the next level isn't just handed to you, it's earned. Go next level with 6-0 pickleball.
What's your duper?
Strong showing by Virginia Tech in women's doubles. They claim the opening game of this championship match, our finals, by a score of 21-9. And now you see Virginia Tech holding a large edge in terms of the duper prediction here in men's doubles as well. The tandem of Nick Hogue and Cody Miller, 4.856 combined duper. On the other side, Chris Segretti and Garv Singhal, collective duper of 4.222. I don't think that tells the whole story, to be honest with you guys. We saw them play earlier in their semifinal match, and both Segretti and Singhal were playing great pickleball. See if Miller and Hogue can kind of right the ship a little bit after I know they weren't pleased with their performance in the semifinals.
Absolutely. I think it'll be interesting to see how they handle Garv. We know that from our semifinal match, he causes a lot of chaos out there on the court. Chaos for others. He seems totally comfortable within it. So it'll be interesting to see how Virginia Tech kind of locks it in and handles it.
For Virginia Tech, with the back to you right now in the black shorts, that is Cody Miller, the taller of the tandem. Nick Hogue is his left-handed playing partner. On the other side, blue shirt, that is Chris Segretti. And in the black pants, that is Garv Singhal. Again, women's doubles to Virginia Tech, 21-9. Huh.
Good dinks.
Good change off the pattern from Singhal.
I really like the way he holds his paddle until the last second when he's trying to decide where he's going to go. It's really deceptive.
You never know if he's going to speed up or not.
Mm-hmm.
Good pressure from Virginia Tech, not quite letting Delaware get to the kitchen lane.
Yeah, we saw in that semifinal Pittsburgh, Ethan in particular, it's the second time we've seen that from Singhal today. Took his eyes off the bounce. Well, we saw the Pitt Panthers able to apply a lot of pressure to the Virginia Tech men. Never really saw Virginia Tech kind of respond or provide the pressure themselves. I'd love to see that from Virginia Tech here in the finals.
It's one of the benefits of the righty-lefty combo that we have from Virginia Tech is both players can be scary in the middle with that forehand. I'd love to see them put it to more use this game.
Wow.
Miller looking back, to wondering if the ball he hit was going to be out. I don't think it was, to be honest.
Me neither. Yeah, I like that pull down the line. It's catching him a little bit off guard, and he's catching the ball late.
Cody has a very good two-handed backhand. I think he should look to counter with those two hands when he gets on the stretch. Buys him a little bit more time so he doesn't have to catch the ball so far out in front with the one hand. Oh. How
Speak of the
about
devil.
that? Yeah.
Yeah, right on cue. Great call by you.
You think he heard me?
He might have. He's only about 2 feet away.
And to set that point up, I really love the trust that Cody had in his partner. You saw that one where he was up and Nick was back, and he just let the ball go. Nick hit a great drop, and they managed to make it up to the line.
Yep, pure athleticism from Nick Hogue. Oh.
Tape help for Hogue and the Hokies, and they lead 6-3. I think Tech is doing a better job here of making Delaware play longer points than they had to in their semifinal. Saw a lot of theatrical shots. Oh, almost pulled it off. Sleight of hand. Great angle. Miller puts it away and puts it out of doubt.
Great defense from Delaware. Garv getting that ball on the stretch from behind him. It's very impressive. Just not quite enough against Virginia Tech.
7-4 off the serve of Cody Miller.
Beautiful. Utilizing that extra reach with both forehands in the middle, too. It's a great pull from Nick Hogue.
So Hogue go to the change of pace slice serve. He's done that a couple of times. And Virginia Tech, this is more what we're used to seeing from this Virginia Tech men's team.
Awkward ball right at the shoulder.
Good spot from Garv Singhal.
I think Cody wasn't quite sure if it was staying in on that one either. It's just what Garv wants you to think.
Beautiful.
Cody's got a nice loose wrist on that backhand flick. Gets him a lot of easy power there with a short swing.
Oh. Wow.
And they rip down the alley, caught Singhal looking middle. So 11-5 for Virginia Tech in men's doubles after a dominant performance in women's doubles. Top seed playing like it in the finals thus far. Quick timeout from the Robbinsville Pickle House. Cam Meeks guiding the Good Ship Performance Productions this weekend. We appreciate, we know you do too, him making the trek nearly from Blacksburg, from Roanoke, Virginia, just about. Oh, mentioned theatrical shot making, and there's one from Singhal.
Nice ATP like that will help get you some momentum even when you're down like this.
I don't love that third shot drive. The Virginia Tech men have been really good at getting themselves fully established at the kitchen, and it just hasn't been giving them any problems. I think if they switch to dropping those, they're going to have more success at getting in.
Yeah, I agree with you. They've pinned themselves back. However, that time, Segretti and Singhal able to establish themselves at the kitchen. (7-12), and now or never. Great shot by Hogue, and you saw Singhal make the decision to let it go. At times, Singhal is so quick and so fast that I think he's kind of overrunning the point.
Yeah.
I remember that one of my very first lessons I ever took, Tyann Wynn, who's our director of pickleball, said, "The game's not moving as fast as you're making it look."
Interesting drop. Looked like it went off the top of the paddle there. He's got that loose wrist and the extreme grip. It's really hard to make clean contact with the ball every time on a precise drop like that. But when it's good, it's good.
Yeah.
Miller and Hogue doing a nice job of kind of pressing the action to the side of the court that they wanted. Chris Segretti really hasn't been able to get involved much in this game. Cody, a little too ambitious.
Looks around like he's overstretched.
You weren't there, right, Nick? I needed.
I'm glad Cody did not see the look on Nick's face after that. Whew. I love the hands from Delaware, but when you get in a fight like that, you have to make your way to the kitchen line.
Great shot by Singhal right there.
I think it was just wide.
Ooh, never mind. Terrible shot, actually. A nearly great shot.
Yeah.
(19-9), and Tech's men trying to replicate the score of Tech's women here in our final. You know, I'm not saying that this outcome is foregone conclusion at this point as Delaware takes the timeout, but should Tech continue to roll to this New Jersey title and take home the $2,500 that comes with it, along with the $1,700 they won last week in the College Cup, that's a pretty fruitful couple weeks for a college program, honestly, in terms of the support that can provide.
Yeah, that's one of the most interesting things about college pickleball is how much money there is in it. I talk to athletes in other college sports, and anything that's not a varsity Division I sport, they're always shocked by how much money pickleball players can make.
That's just kind of the pickleball industry as a whole, college being a byproduct of that right now, and not being a scholarship sport at the moment, although some programs have started to provide payment for players. It's funny, guys, you know, you just look around and you just wonder where this is going to be in a year.
Yeah.
When things are going against you,
Yeah.
those bounces always seem to go with the other side as well.
Yeah.
So game point at 20-10.
Oh,
Great
Wow.
shot, nice Singhal. Goes down, he's going to go down swinging.
that two-handed counter has been looking really good from Garv this game.
really well played point.
That's a hard dink out of the air, the two-handed poke that Garv's doing, because you sacrifice a lot of reach when you keep the two hands on there, and your feet have to be perfectly positioned. But he's been doing a great job with it.
Yep, didn't think that was going to climb, and it did not. So Delaware with the score freeze in place, trying to mount a comeback.
First right side dink pattern.
Oh!
Closes it in style from the
Curls
curve.
the ATP to the back corner. Game point once again. Cam Meeks is going to let us look at that again here in just a second. And that'll do it. So Virginia Tech takes both gender doubles games and now stand a game away from a super regional title here in Robbinsville, New Jersey. Miller and Hogue strong in the finals 21-13. Take a look at that Hogue ATP. Didn't seal it, they put it right on the doorstep.
When the world sleeps, greatness rises. And while others dream of the next level, we chase it, challenging every limit, turning obstacles into stepping stones. Because the next level isn't just handed to you, it's earned. Go next level with 6-0 pickleball.
What's your duper?
Virginia Tech with a commanding 2-0 lead in our final match of this Collegiate Pickleball Tour New Jersey Super Regional. And you see that Virginia Tech sends out their top mixed team and said, we got a long drive back to Blacksburg. Let's try to wrap this up with Cody Miller and Heather Murphy. They'll take on Leo Walter and Garv Singhal. And you saw there the duper prediction, 88% favoring Virginia Tech. Murphy played outstanding pickleball women's doubles. So did Nilium Gaze, for that matter. And that was the best we've seen Cody Miller play thus far today in that men's doubles match as well. He really commanded the action, I felt like, in that game.
Yeah, totally agree.
Great point. Heather
Yeah.
makes those resets look so effortless, and they really are not.
Yeah.
Yeah, the poise in that point was outstanding. You saw Singhal try to take Miller out wide, which not advisable, by the way.
It's a good shot.
Great shot. It's just low enough where it's really hard for Heather to actually counter the ball.
Will help from the net.
Tape disrupts the timing and the footwork a little bit for Miller there. 2 apiece. Murphy shoved that wide. Oh. There's the slide from Singhal. He got it back, but in a perilous position.
Yeah. Beautiful get. Very good footwork.
I'm surprised he doesn't use a one-handed backhand more. I mean, it was a really good move, and he obviously got a remarkable ball back, but he could have been in position much faster if he'd taken a hand off that paddle.
You see that a lot on the men's side in tennis too. It's like you're one or the other, right? You're a one-hand backhand guy or you're a two-hand backhand guy. And we're seeing that a little bit in pickleball. Or you're right. Beneficial to use them both, particularly if you know how to hit them both.
Mm-hmm.
It's also funny, when I was coming along learning tennis, I'm 45 years old, everyone taught the slice one-hand backhand. That's what men's players used. And then about 10 years later it changed. Now everybody uses the two-hand. You see it in pickleball when you play in a facility like this with some of the more middle-aged players. You can kind of tell their age sometimes by what they're using.
100%.
Great pull.
Leah's doing a great job of moving with her partner and keeping herself in position.
And that speed up from Leo, just once again, it's just so low that it makes it really hard to counter with any pace at all. So if you try to hit it hard in that reset, the ball has to go up. And then if you do that, Garv is sitting on it, ready to pounce.
Miller almost hit that like it was a rec game before it hit the deck. No. Foot fault, though. Singhal couldn't keep his balance.
Leah's got to grab him out of the kitchen there. Beautiful flick.
Yeah.
Depth of that flick. And the Tech trying to change ends. Once again with a large lead. Oh,
wow.
Great dig by Walter. To Windsor the point. What a shot by Walter.
Yeah.
So that's the next evolution, right? We were talking about it earlier, that hybrid 60% drive drop with the topspin. The counter to that now is what everyone's going to be working on
Yeah.
the next month or so.
Well, sometimes the best counter to it, wow.
Wow.
Miller getting his steps in.
Yeah.
Murphy keeping the pressure on.
Great
Singhal
point.
trying to get involved and just could not. 11-6. We'll get the rest of that thought after this quick timeout. This is the final match. Virginia Tech takes the first two, trying to get it done with a 3-set sweep. 11-6. We left you on the edge of your seat. What is the best counter for that hybrid drive drop, David?
So a lot of people think that the best thing you can do is try to adjust the next shot, right? But one of the best things you can do to counter that hybrid drive drop is hit actually a bigger and deeper return. If you can keep your opponent from being able to hit the hybrid drive in a very aggressive manner, you can make that next shot on yourself a lot easier.
12-7. And the counter to that is a bigger serve.
Yeah, exactly.
I say that because I know you do them both. Singhall trying to keep Delaware in this thing, not only this game, but this match. Must win to force mix 2.
We got a little grunt from Garv on that overhead. Shows the intensity.
Miller wanted to ask Manny, our lead referee, whether that ball was in or out. We could see his paddle face was a little bit tilted back from where he wanted it. Not that time.
No nonsense from Cody Miller.
That shot needs a name.
Puts it away with authority.
Like the whirling dervish right there. 13-9. 14-9. Bigger serve from Cody Miller.
Well, and you see one of the things that makes Single's shot so deceptive is his wrist, but I do think it comes back to bite him sometimes in those returns because he has a lot of extraneous movement before he makes contact with the ball.
I completely agree. It's really hard to have a short swing with all that extra movement that comes along with the loose wrists.
Got high enough. Cody Miller's shaking his head. Man, I used to be able to dunk a basketball. Been kind of businesslike for Miller and Murphy, I think. I'm out here trying to put it away in clinical fashion.
Wow.
You see Single smile and shake his head after that one.
Yep. Heather politely informs Cody that ball was in fact going out.
Well, that's one of those where you kind of lose track of where you are in the court. Yep. Delaware hanging in there. Yeah. 12-15. That's the next layer for Singhall right there is the consistency on that drop.
Mm-hmm.
Good move by Cody.
Yeah.
Great court coverage.
He just so casually tap dances the kitchen line.
Elite level awareness of where he is on the court.
Murphy once again stands toe-to-toe with the player right in front of her.
Yeah.
18-12 for Virginia Tech, closing in on the super regional title.
Nice shot right at the feet.
A little ambitious on that third shot drive.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
Nice job from Garv there, not falling in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I was
Reaching in on that forehand.
Great balance. But it's championship point. Championship point. King me, say the Hokies. Hokie high for the second consecutive weekend. Miller and Murphy put it away, and Virginia Tech in a sweep in our finals. Came in as the top seed, guys. We kind of expected that performance from Virginia Tech because, like Coach was talking about, Virginia Tech has been one of the better programs in collegiate pickleball, but trying to break to that top of the mountain. And I think they feel like they have the team to do it here this year. So very fun to have you guys along with here in New Jersey. Look forward to doing it again and getting back to Richmond as well. Lorelei, David, thank you so much. Your final thoughts on the weekend here.
It was a fantastic tournament. I think it's great to see college pickleball grow at its finest right here. We had some great matches. Virginia Tech obviously deserved that win. They played phenomenally in the semifinal and the gold medal match. And congratulations to them, and thank you to DUPR and Robbinsville Pickle House for having us today.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yep, absolutely. Hospitality from Robbinsville Pickle House, always appreciated. Stephen Conger, his wife Heather, doing a fantastic job running the proceedings today. We'll see Jacob Smith and Hunter Iono, I'm sure, at our next stop in Scottsdale, Arizona. One more super regional stop on the Collegiate Pickle Tour on the way to Nationals in April in Atlanta. The Hokies are your New Jersey Super Regional Champion. Congratulations to all the teams, including strong showings from Delaware, Pitt, and UNC Charlotte. For Cam Meeks, Lorelei Singsank, David Bigger, I'm John Laser saying, as always, thanks for being with us. We'll talk to you again from the desert.
What's your duper?